in the garden quickly, because otherwise I start collecting dust and I'll get fed up with them. We'll take them up the charity shop and get rid of them. So do it before lunch, OK?
I'll get some fish and line from the tackle shop this morning.
What fish and tackle shop?
White Lines Tailor's tackle shop. Splendid little place. Angler's paradise.
You don't know anyone called Tight Lines?
Planning application 2002. We cast a few.
Tight Lines Tailor, pull the other one. What do you know about fishing?
I know what minnow magnum saltwater lures are.
All right then, J.R. Hartley. You make sure you're careful up that tree with Bracken's mobile and the fishing line.
I think you can trust me not to cripple myself plummeting out of a silver birch. What?
Anything at all, my love. You know, any accident in the last 3 years that wasn't your fault? You know? Have you tripped or fallen in the street? Have you injured yourself as a result of an official body's carelessness? You know, stumbled on a bus? Caught your cardio on a wheelie bin? Now look, Martin Hanlon. Martin Hanlon Associates. I tell you what, sweetheart. Why don't you put the kettle on? We'll have a nice cup of tea while you think about it. I bet your pension we can come up with something. Yeah, slip, trip or fall. Yeah? I'm not Esther Rantzen, I am. Campaigning for justice. I'm here to get you what's due.
And ever onward grind the wheels of justice, thank you.
I never know whether to take the top of these things. It seems uncouth to suck it through a hole.
At least it tastes like coffee, not like that slop we had yesterday.
Ah, but will it? His coffee was mochaccino, crappy latte taste of.
It's a straight black.
What? No hazelnut? Ah.
Hello? Tight Lines? Shop?
Woody? Me? You remember me, don't you? You remember me, old mate? Whiffy there, old chum.
Good morning, Dr. Palmer. May I say how nice it is to see you looking so terrifically well?
Thank you.
Particularly since, for several months, Dr. Granger would have had us all believe that you'd very sadly passed away.
Can we do without Miss Shea's theatricality?
If you wouldn't mind, Miss Shea.
You must feel like a complete fool, Dr. Palmer, to have been so completely and utterly duped by a friend. You have my sympathy.
Well, now, hold on.
And can we do without Miss Shea's badly cloaked invective?
My point was simply that it must have been tremendously embarrassing.
I'd have thought the pertinent point is that Dr. Granger was a skilled, caring and attentive doctor. We were lucky to have him.
Hardly as lucky as he is to continue enjoying your support.
I don't see why.
You're such a very good man, Dr. Palmer, to be so generously forgiving and charitably understanding, even after Dr. Granger made you look so, well, stupid.
Miss Shea.
And dead.
Hello? Tight Lines? Hey.
Mr. Woodson. You looking well?
Yeah, I'm fine. What's going on with you, though?
Tell you what, Mr. Woodson. I reckon I'm at the end of my rope.
So the man who you considered to be a skilled, caring and attentive doctor and a good friend was in point of fact a compulsive liar.
Now, hang on.
Miss Shea is being deliberately sensational.
A compulsive liar with a hidden gambling addiction who became an accomplished thief. A thief who stole considerable amounts of money from his friend in order to bankroll his habit. Would you say you're a terrifically good judge of character, Dr. Palmer?
Is she allowed to talk to me like this?
It's a valid question, Doctor.
Well, it isn't. What about the fact that Daniel often went out of his way to help people? He did a huge amount for charity.
Oh, well, that's all right then.
I'm not talking about buying raffle tickets. I'm talking about helping me through a personal blow that shattered my life and my family.
I am merely seeking to demonstrate that Dr. Granger's deep character flaws would make him a less than competent GP.
Without Daniel's support, I might never have come to terms with my daughter's heart problems. He's no fair-weather friend.
And neither, clearly, are you.
Are we to be subjected to this juvenile tit-for-tat?
When my daughter was born with heart defects, it was Daniel who helped me channel my fury into raising money for support and research.
Whilst at the same time misappropriating funds from your practice.
And he had the guts to stand up to me. He sent me home, when home was where I was needed.
Thus allowing him free range with your practice's accounting software.
I really must object. Miss Shea has absolutely no right to question Dr. Granger's motives in supporting his friend.
Facts. Not suppositions of what the panel will consider, Miss Shea, as well you know. I think this would be a sensible point at which to break.
And upon entering the premises, our client was leapt upon by an unleashed and aggressive dog. What, Woody? Oh, no, this is guff. No, there's no way. Woody's not a dangerous dog, and they won't get a destruction order.
That bloke was drunk as a skunk. I mean, he fell over outside the shop. Woody never even got off his blanket.
We can sort this out.
I won't let him take him, Mr. Woodson.
He's a staffy, right?
Yeah, from a breeder in Brown Hills.
Oh, well, there you go. They don't know what they're talking about.
You know, he was the runt of the litter. Nobody else wanted him. Only paid a couple of quid for him, but me and Woody, I mean, neither of us was ever going to be prize winners.
But here's a pedigree. You've got his papers.
Somewhere. Well, I've read stuff on the web. There's this family up in Liverpool with a collie cross. Been brought up round babbies. I mean, they had a petition and everything. It was no good.
All right, listen, tight lines. You need to get yourself cleaned up, get yourself down to the cop shop, get your act together, go down with Woody and his papers, and let's blow this dangerous dog thing out the water for starters.
If they take Woody...
It's not going to come to that. The rest you can leave with me.
What are you going to do?
Just so there is no ambiguity, all the money Dr. Granger took from your practice is being paid back.
We have a written agreement. Daniel is honouring it.
And again, no ambiguity. But in your opinion, he's an exemplary general practitioner whose skills and dedication you have never caused to question.
He's an excellent doctor.
So he's paying the money back, and he's a good doctor. Now, you withdrew your support for the CPS prosecution. The charges were dropped. There was no court case. And you have no reservations about your decisions. Thank you.
Well, no, not no reservations. I wouldn't say that exactly.
No more questions, Dr. Palmer. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thanks for seeing me.
Always happy to talk to a fellow professional. Are you fighting on your own? Sons Riley Lynch?
I've got a couple of choice clients.
Of course you have.
And yourself?
Yeah. Just bought myself a nice little place in Bergerac, as it happens. Rent it out to stressed out teachers in the summer. Ka-ching. Anyway, you haven't come here to talk to me about my French portfolio, have you, Mr. Woodson? Don't be backward in coming forward, Ronnie. I know why you're here. You want a slice of the no-win, no-fee pie. Am I right? Can I call you Ronnie?
Do you have reservations, Dr. Palmer?
I've had a long time to think about it. Of course, I've questioned the decisions I've made.
But on balance, I'm sure you know that you were right not to facilitate any witch hunt. It was never your intention to punish Dr. Granger beyond the punishment he had inflicted upon himself.
I can't help wondering if I hadn't been so preoccupied with my own affairs, maybe I could have forced Daniel to confront his problems sooner.
Forestalled some of his more recent difficulties?
Maybe all this awfulness in Leatherbridge may never have happened if I'd seen it through.
But then, as now, you didn't want the health service to lose a good doctor.
No.
I think we need to be clear, Dr. Palmer. You obviously are not convinced you did the right thing.
Well, no, I didn't mean to suggest that I think Daniel should be struck off or anything. I just think if he had some time, you know, time just to get himself completely sorted out, you know, time away from the pressures of the job, I don't know, some sort of temporary suspension or something.
Thank you, Dr. Palmer, for your recommendations. It is, however, for the panel to deliberate on any and all sanctions in this case.
The more my company's name's out there, the easier it is for us to attract the spend.
But you want your company to maintain a good name?
Sure, I mean, everyone would like a shining reputation.
So you'd step back from a claim if it wasn't sound and might tarnish your name?
Is my good name going to buy me a pig barn conversion in the Dordogne, Ron?
So if you suspected a claim was fabricated...
I'd say bring it on. I'm partial to a fight.
So the reliability of your client's testimonies not non-negotiable?
In this business, it's one side's word against another. My motto is talk loud and carry a big stick. Eh? See, I'm not interested in working with wimps or gay types. Question is, have you got an eye for an opportunity?
I've got an eye for an opportunist.
You can't be all limp-wristed when it comes to claim litigation. It's dog eat dog.
So intimidation, threats, the invention in sworn affidavits, that's all okay then?
Come again?
Any more questions?
None.
Miss Shea?
Nothing more from me, thank you.
All right, Doctor, thank you. You're finished now.
I would like to say one other thing.
Yes.
There, but for the grace of God, go any one of us.
Yes, well, maybe we can all ponder the input of the Almighty over lunch. We'll resume at 3.
Unlike you, I know precisely what happened in Mr. Taylor's bait and tackle shop.
Is that what this is all about? That ridiculous little man and his dog? Just one of your choice clients? Well, no wonder you need a shave. Careful, Mr. Woodson. You'll be dressing from charity shops for a long time to come.
I'm here to offer you an exit.
Oh, bring it on. I could go a nice juicy slander suit. There's nothing I'd like more than to bring down some morally superior, imperious, snivelling little wet boy like you.
Walk away, Martin.
A dog in a retail outlet, unleashed, free to leap up at some unsuspecting member of the public. Our peerlessly meticulous medical expert. Great pictures and no witnesses. Don't make me laugh.
You think there were no witnesses? You're wrong.
And you're as dead as that dog. You take this on, you stand to lose the lot.
Your client was drunk. Do you know that? And there was a witness with an excellent view and a flawless memory. So unless you want me to take evidence of fraud and attempted extortion to the police, I suggest you reconsider. And quickly.
Show me.
I don't think so.
This will cost you more than you could ever imagine making. You're bluffing.
Well, let's see who blinks first.
You take care now, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Oh, leave me alone, Nick.
You can't just choose to ignore a situation.
See again with the us and ours. You enjoying this?
But what we have,
It's a grimy little secret, yes.
what we have to do is talk. You can't expect me to forget what happened, to keep lying to my friend.
You have to keep lying. And I hope you're not trying to manipulate me, because if you are...
What happened between us didn't happen in a void. You couldn't do what you did.
Listen, Nick. I refuse to jeopardise Ronnie's happiness over some pitiful, drunken sympathy sex that I believed might make you feel better. And don't ever think for 1 second that that gives us some kind of connection or that it was anything other than grim. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm meeting my husband for lunch.
Chin up, Daniel.
Ray was supposed to be on my side.
After all, but for a few Navel-gazing members he was.
If I'm struck off now.
Oh, none of that. We got Joe up next, our big hitter.
What's the matter?
Just ran into the back of a brand new Jag.
Oh, no, you're kidding.
It's a real crush job. And the guy gets out, and he's this tall. He's a dwarf.
Was he a hawk?
He comes round to the back of the car to have a look. It's a real mess. And he says, I'm not happy. So I said, which one are you then?
What did you really say?
No, nothing. It's a joke.
No, what did you really say?
No, I didn't hit anything. It's a joke. I was lying. It's funny.
No, well, lying isn't funny, though, is it? And I think you'll find that joke's offensive.
Well, not to Snow White. Okay, but promise me you won't tell Nick about the dwarf thing.
Why would I? Like I said, it's offensive.
I want to try and catch him out. Anyway, I meant to tell you, but I forgot. I'm taking him for a boys' day out on Wednesday.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I think he's bottling stuff up and you could do with a touch of good chum Woodson. Anyway, what are you having? I went for such a great day.
Wonderful. How are you getting on with those mobiles?
Yeah, I haven't exactly sorted out the fishing line thing yet, but I am onto it. Oh, wait until I tell you what I did earlier. Who'd have thought that lying could be so much fun?
But before we go any further, Mr. Davies, were you aware of any CCTV cameras or surveillance equipment of any kind in the warehouse when you slipped?
Oh, Vivian. With the pace being like it is at the moment, have you thought about support hosiery? I mean, it's nothing, but it can really help with achy legs in the afternoons.
I beg your pardon?
Well, my mum swears by her tights.
I'm sure she does, Nurse Carrigan. But I will never be a victim of varicose veins. I rotate my ankles 50 times in a clockwise direction and 50 times anti-clockwise every day after supper. And I am no stranger to a brisk walk.
I didn't mean anything by it.
Dancer's ankles, my mother called them.
It's just a thought, Vivian.
Have you seen Nick? It's just he's not in his room.
Oh, he's gone swimming.
What? Are we not short-staffed enough?
Well, I'm sure we'll all do everything we can to help his mobility. He'll be in the morning.
PC Neville Evitts. The only night fishing Nev. He's in here all the time. Recognises Woody the minute he walks in the nick.
And the breed thing was rubbish.
That's like you said. Hey, there's defo a new bite alarm in it for him. Well, he's a cart man. How'd you go?
Well, I think someone was alarmed at the prospect of my bite, as it happens.
Well, tell us then.
Retraction. And an apology.
Get away with you. Well, how'd you do that?
Me? You were the one with the foresight to install CCTV on the premises.
CCTV? Well, I ain't got any security cameras.
I know that, and you know that, but as far as Martin Hallam was concerned, the whole non-event with Woody and the drunk was immortalised on the videotape.
Mr. Woodson, you been telling porcupines?
Well, it's a fish called Wanda, so I don't know about porcupines. But the lies I told Hanlon were this big.
Good afternoon, Dr. Fenton.
Good afternoon.
Tell me, Dr. Fenton, how important was it to you that your nephew Daniel follow you into a career in medicine? And how much of a personal blow would it be to you were your nephew to be struck off the medical register?
So you've only spoken to him once?
I have neither the time nor the inclination to chase up hourly progress reports.
Well, that means no one spoke to him all day. I went round, but he wouldn't open the door.
Might it not be possible Dr. Clay was asleep and didn't hear you?
Asleep? Oh, he sleeps like the dead when he's well, so with flu. Mrs. Carter, would you like to come through?
I can't help worrying. I promise you, if he calls in, I'll let you know. Yes, I'm still here.
Daniel has dynamism and drive and the kind of caring nature that will always make me proud that I encouraged him into medicine.
Thank you, Dr. Fenton.
He would say that, wouldn't he?
It's not the Profumo affair, Miss Shea. Any further questions for Dr. Fenton?
Not really, sir. I'd just like to congratulate another doctor on his seemingly limitless supply of patience and forgiveness.
Oh, for goodness sake. I do hope, Miss Shea, that if ever you need your family's support and forgiveness, that they're there for you. No matter what.
What else have you forgiven him for, Doctor? Has your nephew ever stolen from you, Dr. Fenton?
Bye then.
I'm sorry, but the person you called is not available.
May I remind you, you are on oath. It's a straightforward question.
In a straightforward world where nobody makes mistakes and nobody finds themselves in a hideous situation and can't quite work out how they got there.
We've already listened to the mitigation.
You may have listened, but you have singularly failed to hear. When Daniel ran away from my house, scared, fearing for his life, yes, he did take some of my possessions with him. I can't lie about that. But they were things I would gladly have given him if I'd known what he was facing.
Really?
Yes, really. If I had experienced then that thing that Tyrrell was, if I had seen the troglodyte that he dragged around after him for smashing faces and snapping bones, then I would have given him my last penny to get that devil off his back.
Once again, most laudable.
And you know why? Because Daniel deserves my love and support. What we're talking about here is an illness. And mark my words, it's an illness that will proliferate. And fighting it will be harder and more complicated with the increase in online opportunities, 24-hour opening, and scurrilous plans to build super casinos.
Thank you, Dr. Fenton, but you're not here to get on your soapbox.
No, I'm here to tell you categorically that Daniel has sought treatment for his illness, and I believe he will recover. And he will go on, if you don't scupper him now, to be a credit to medicine and to fulfill the promise he always had. And it won't all have been a wretched waste of time.
Have you quite finished?
Daniel is a good man and a wonderful doctor. I would trust my nephew with my life.
I think that would be a sensible point at which to finish for today. Thank you.
Good evening, Mill Health Centre.
Have you heard from him?
Not a peep.
I've been round there again. If he's there, he's not letting us in. I can't force my way in. Well, I could, but I'd have to explain it to the super.
Oh, calm down. There's nothing to worry about.
He'll be out like a light, sleeping this horrible flu off. We've got scores of patients doing the same thing.
Are you sure?
Certain.
Thank you.
Shay's right, you know. I've been such a liar. But you wish she'd never set eyes on me.
She never gave me the chance to mention how grateful I am.
Grateful? To me? What for?
That picture you took.
The seascape. Oh, don't tell me Aunt Annie painted it.
She did.
I could try and get it back.
You dare.
What do you mean?
I loathed it. I'd lived with those hideously crashing waves for more than a decade.
You must have wanted it once.
Well, I lied when I told her I did.
Joe, you lied.
I most certainly did. You may have noticed the stain on the wall where it used to hang.
Yeah, what is it?
Emily spotted a blue bottle.
Georgie, coming out. It looks great.
You just give me a minute.
Hey, this is Nick. You hear the beep, you know what to do.
Look, you can't do this. You can't go out playing all boys together. What are you trying to do? Please, Nick. I know Ronnie is pushing you into this, but think of a lie. Tell him something, anything. Just tell him you can't go, please, Nick. So I will catch up with you tomorrow. It's George, by the way. Bye. That was Joe. I was just leaving a message of support.
So now you've done your duty to your friend, what about to your husband?
What do you mean?
There are 4 sets of outdoor fairy lights and 5 mobiles suspended and draped artistically around our garden. I've had kisses and claps from Missy B. And what about from you?
I'll come and see.
You can have that and kisses when I've had a hug. Oh dear. Tomorrow I'm going to visit another one of my secret friends, Mystic Mia, the mystical masseuse, and get a bottle of her scented oil with which to remove the stresses and strains from your rigid body.
Ronnie.
All right, I know. That was a fib. I'm not so good at telling porcupines after all. Tyler's Taylor true, Mystic Mia false. Can I just half-inch some of your lotion instead?
I don't deserve you.
You're like a child.
Well, I just thought I'd give you some practice since you got one of your own on the way.
He's on trial here for his personal life. And if that is the precedent you are setting, then there will be nobody left to treat the sick, because shock horror, none of us are perfect.
That's it. Thinks I'm having an affair. What would make her think that?
Gary or Jace. Dawn makes her decision in EastEnders at 7:30. Next, Bridget fights for her life, and Susan's clueless in Neighbours.